Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy names which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Number 2, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Khanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, thank you all for joining the Bhakti Sanga conference call. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna, Narendra Priya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Aditi Devi Dasi in India, Pune.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and all the glories to the assembled devotees. This is Manjari Leela Devi Dasi from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Manjari Leela Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vritti Gandharvika Devi Dasi from College Station, Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nanpriya Narmada Mataji, all glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Vishnu Guru Maharaj, and all the devotees. This is Kamali Kidasi from Baltimore. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kamadiki Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, and those pranams unto you and all the devotees present. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Eka Radhika Leela Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ekaradhika Leela Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Are there any other devotees who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Nanda Priya Narmada Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Vritti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I think Prabhuji has joined, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, but we have time, Mataji. Usually we start on time. Anybody would like to introduce? Otherwise, we will start the recording. But we have 3 more minutes to go.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all the glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Mohini Lakshmi,
Hare Krishna Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Revati Priya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, please accept humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji on the call to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, Sloka number 35. Yeah, before handing over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to ask Aditi Mataji to give a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Mataji, please take it.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. We are very fortunate to have Prabhuji, His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji this morning. And this is a brief. His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji came to Krishna consciousness in 2001, got initiated in 2006 by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He completed courses at Bhakti Vedanta Vidya Pitam from BVRC. And the services he rendered is managing a preaching center in Hyderabad, training and educating corporate youth, giving daily sessions on Asta TV and other local channels, conducting online Bhagavatam sessions for many devotee groups all over India. This is just a brief introduction for Prabhuji. Over to you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, Text 35. Dehendriyashu Heenanam Vaikuntha Puravasinam Deha Sambandham Etat Akyatum Arhasi. Word-to-word translation. Deha, of the material body. Indriya, material senses. Aso, life, breath. Heenana, of those devoid. Vaikuntapura, of Vaikuntha. Vasina, of the residents. Deha Sambandha, in a material body. Sambandham, bondage. Etat, this. Akyatum Arhasi, please describe. Translation. The bodies of the inhabitants of Vaikuntha are completely spiritual, having nothing to do with the material body, senses, or life here. Therefore, kindly explain how associates of the personality of Godhead are cursed to descend in material bodies like ordinary persons. Purpose. This very significant question would be difficult for an ordinary person to answer, but Narada Muni, being an authority, could answer it. Therefore, Maharaj Yudhishthir inquired from him, saying, Etat akyatam arhasi. Only you can explain the reason. For authoritative sources, it can be discerned that associates of Lord Vishnu who descend from Vaikuntha do not actually fall. They come with the purpose of fulfilling the desire of the Lord, and their descent to this material world is comparable to that of the Lord. The Lord comes to this material world through the agency of his internal potency. And similarly, when a devotee or associates of the Lord descends to this material world, he does so through the action of the spiritual energy. Any pastime conducted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is an arrangement by Yogamaya, not Mahamaya. Therefore, it is to be understood that when Jaya and Vijaya descended to this material world, they came because there was something to be done for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, it is a fact that no one falls from Vaikuntha planet. Of course, a living entity who desires Sahaja Mukti remains in Krishna's Brahman effulgence, which is dependent on Krishna's body. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Such an impersonalist who takes shelter of Brahman effulgence may surely fall down. This is stated in the Shastra. Anya Ravindaksha Vimuktimanina Svayastabhava Avishuddha Buddhaya Arhya Krichena Param Padam Tataha Patantyado Andrat Yushmad Angrat Yat. O Lord, the intelligence of those who think themselves liberated but who have no devotion is impure, even though they may rise to the highest point of liberation by dint of severe penance and austerities. They are sure to fall down again into material existence, for they do not take shelter of your lotus feet. The impersonalists cannot reach the Vaikuntha planets to become associates of the Lord, and therefore, according to their desire, Krishna gives them Sahaja Mukti. However, since Sahaja Mukti is partial Mukti, they must fall again to this material world. When it is said that the individual soul falls from Brahmaloka, this applies to the impersonalist. From authoritative sources, it is learned that Jaya and Vijaya were sent to this material world to fulfill the Lord's desire to fight. The Lord also sometimes wants to fight, but who can fight with the Lord but a very confidential devotee of the Lord? Jaya and Vijaya descended to this world to fulfill the Lord's desire. Therefore, in each of these three births, first as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, second as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and third as Shishupala and Dantavakra, the Lord personally killed them. In other words, these associates of the Lord Jaya and Vijaya descended to the material world to serve the Lord by fulfilling his desire to fight. Otherwise, as Maharaj used to say, Ashraddhe iva bhati. The statement that a servant of Lord could fall from Vaikuntha seems unbelievable. How Jaya and Vijaya came to this material world is explained by Narada Muni as follows. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitanscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So I welcome all of you and thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve all of you. So here, this is 7th canto, 1st chapter. Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. This is a very interesting chapter because the point is people feel that Lord is partial to the Devatas and he is supporting the devatas. But Lord is always supporting Sattva-guna. Whoever in Sattva-guna, they will get the benefit of the Lord, because Sattva-guna is for helpful for maintaining the living entities in this world. And in that way, they will be elevated and they can come back to the spiritual world. So that is the reason when Sutta Goswami, Saunaka Rishi asked Sutta Goswami, what is the purpose of Lord's descent? In the second chapter of first canto, 34th verse, that is the last verse, that's what is the reason that is explained by Sutta Goswami, that Lord is coming to reclaim who are in Sattva. And Lord want to maintain Sattva in this material creation. And that's why he descends, to protect that, because that is the way in passion and ignorance living entities are bound in this material world. He want to liberate them. And then he gives, okay, why did he kill Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu? Then this story starts. Here, how come they are from the spiritual world, Jaya and Vijaya? How did they come to this material world? Now, first thing is, can we understand about spiritual world? It is not so easy, because we have a material mind. With a material mind, to conceive what is spiritual is very difficult. And to understand what is coming from spiritual world is much more difficult. Because from human, there is misunderstanding. For understanding one's inability to know the original cause of all causes, source of everything, is only knowable through ascending process. That means we cannot comprehend it on our own. This is with the help of Arohapanta, the upstream process. It is, if a man is trying to climb up and up, then it will end up, but we will not be able to climb any further. We will not have any support. That means we will able to understand this with our mind. We cannot measure it. This is the first thing we should know. And it is impossible to understand God through our own effort. If a person is trying to use logic, this is the most important point. Try to understand. See, the logic is not applicable in a which is unlimited. So when it comes to infinity, logic don't work there. Logic is only in a finite space, and Supreme Lord is infinite. Logic don't work for us. That is the important point we need to understand. Spiritual world is unlimited. That means it is beyond logic, beyond cause and effect. Here everything is cause and effect. Everything is within the limits of logic, which is not spiritual world. That means we cannot comprehend. That is the first thing. Now, another important thing here is that it is asked from authority, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is not doing research. He is not asking a logical explanation. He is asking why it happened. That's all. And Narada Muni is not going to give any logical explanation. What is the explanation? This is a very important explanation for all of us all the time. What is that explanation? We should understand that God is a person, and we have to relate with the Lord as a person. Then only we'll be able to understand. If a person means he has his desires, he has his own reasons, he is a personality. That is what is very important. To understand, there should be revelation. God is only revealed. He must be revealed himself, and then only there is some possibility we can understand. Otherwise, we only misunderstand. Person means he should, like, say, I want to know any of you. I need to develop a relationship. Then only it is possible. That is the first point here. Now, the important discussion today, what I was thinking is, can anybody fall from Vaikuntha? That is the point. So here Prabhupada is making a very important statement. It is a fact that no one falls from Vaikuntha. So this is our topic of discussion today. Very small topic, I will explain it. And because this I have taken few times, so it will be easy. For some of you, you might have already know it, but still we will discuss on this. That how somebody, why they don't fall from Vaikuntha, and why we are in this material world. What happens when we go to spiritual world? Why the people from Vaikuntha world, there is no possibility of falling down. And then we will see what is the important. And even this Brahma Jyoti also, when Prabhupada is talking about fall down from Brahman effulgence, he is talking about a person who is almost yes, trying to reach a stage, but it is not, he is not applying bhakti in it. That's why he will fall down. This also will try to discuss 2 points. The first is that can anybody fall from Vaikuntha? Okay, I will just share the screen to make you understand this important discussion. Now, there are cycle of 4 links that is consisting on action. Now, when I tell this, by the end of this, you will be able to understand why anybody cannot fall from Vaikuntha. Because just by this simple understanding, we can know, okay, this is not possible in Vaikuntha, that's why they don't fall. So we just see how action is performed in this material world. If we know this very clearly, then we can see that in Vaikuntha this is not possible, that's why they will not fall. So we'll see how action is happening here. That is my point of discussion. Say if I am doing an activity, it's a karma, action, like, and it forms some sanskaras, and these sanskaras, they are the imprints, and then there are vasanas, a certain tendency or a habit that we have formed in ourselves. And then there is a vritti. I will explain them in detail. My psychological reactions to the external environment, which in turn determines my behavior. Now, why this is very important? See, this vasana, if you remember Bhagavad Gita, there is a shloka, vasansi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihnati naroparani. So if you remember, vasansi jirnani means, what is that word vasana used for? Dress, right? It is indicating dress.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
There is a little bit of freezing, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you're able to hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
It's indicating vasanas. Until there we heard.
Okay. So there is
We can
some
hear
problem.
your voice, Prabhu.
Okay. So now it is indicating vasana in the sense vasana means dress. So the living entity who come to this material world, they are wearing a dress. That is actually vasana. Vasana is again dress. All living entity we have dress. And this is not there in the spiritual world. That is the main difference. We'll see how this dress is formed, why it is not there in the spiritual world. If you know it, then we can understand very clearly that nobody can from the spiritual world can come to the material world. We will try to understand this one aspect. Now, I'm sorry with I don't know why it got stuck, but anyway, you are able to hear, so not a problem. We'll start. I am from little far, but we'll come to that point. Now, this is how this karma is formed, sanskaras are told, because it is very much connected. In the spiritual world, there is no karma. How they act, why they are free, and why we are born. This is very important. So, karma is basically, it's samskaras, they are means imprints. So, almost everything that we do in one way or another, it leaves a mark on our minds. And all the events of our life, all impressions, just something in our conscious memory on the surface of our mind, something goes deeper. We'll come to that point also. That means every action has some effects on us. Now, first is we should know what is the nature of mind. Now, this is given to us, this material mind. This is all covering that is given to a living entity. Now, because of this covering, only actions happens. What motivates to an action? Now, I'll tell an important point. Please try to understand. See, there is action that is happening in the spiritual world. There is action happening in the material world. Now, action in the spiritual world, material world, there is a motivation. What motivates in the spiritual world for an activity is love. Now, what is motivating for action in the material world, that we are trying to understand. Then what happens? The spiritual world motivation also will become very clear. Why they act? In spiritual world, everybody is free. In material world, we are not free. That is the main difference. We are bound here. In the spiritual world, any activity, the motivation is love. So that is what. So here, little bit of what is the conditioning that we are having, what catches us, we'll see. Now, mind is very flexible. It's a plastic, and and imprints that remains in our mind in different strengths. Now, very important is this imprints, they are folding together and ultimately form our personality. And this is actually what is happening.
Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, again we cannot hear you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Yeah, Prabhuji joined, Mataji. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, I can see him.
Yeah. I gave him co-host. Yeah.
I'm really sorry, Matri, some internet issues. You are able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Yes,
we can hear you.
Okay, I will. I'm just figuring out what is the issue. I'm really sorry. So I don't know till where you heard, but I will continue. So the point what I am telling is, what is? Oh, you got. After that, I spoke for so long.
Madam, we couldn't hear you, Prabhuji. It was interestingly going actually, karma in material world and in spiritual world.
Oh, still, my laptop is not responding. I will just check if I can join with another. So I will try to join in another device. So here, what I was trying to explain, what is the motivation of a activity or work? So that is what is very important in any of our activities. So, I'll join with another device, Mata. You can just make me in that device.
Sure, Prabhuji. Sure. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, you are there in the other device. You can see that. Yes, Prabhu, I gave you co-host.
But
Prabhuji, you can disconnect audio in the other device.
You're able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I will not be able to share the screen. I'm really sorry. I will just explain to you what I was trying to.
After
So
the
here,
class, you can share with us the notes, Prabhuji. That will be fine.
sure. So here I am trying to explain the nature of mind. Of course, before that I just told that, see, in the spiritual learner, the motivation for activity is always our is love. Here the motivation, if you understand what is the motivation that happens in this material world, then you can know the difference there. Like here, the impressions are actually the motivations. I'll explain how it is formed. So nature of mind is, it is very flexible. It's like a plastic. It has so much imprints on it. And generally what we are in this material world is because of all these imprints. They are folding us together and ultimately form our personality. So this is what is material world. But and also what is our fate? Fate is basically the events that happen to us, and this is a reflection of our personality. This is how I am formed. So the personality I am is just because of the imprints I am. That is what is very important to understand. And now, due to the plasticity of mind, due to its rather easy executable nature, we can actively influence our destiny and we can change it. If a child experiences severe pain in the childhood, so then this forms his subconsciousness and it will remain and cause the pain, and because of which he is formed in a particular way. And just I will give this small, we have discussed this few times also. And now how this affects forms and why it is formed, that is also we have discussed quite a few times. Now, what is important here to understand, we'll just see this cycle of our action. So when we know the cycle of action, we can see what is the cycle of action in the spiritual world and why it is not affecting us. Now, like say, the way in which karma is formed in our consciousness, that is the reason we are acting here. Like initially we have some sensation, we have some experience, and it laid a strong emotional sign. There's a psychological effect on us. Say I have a positive experience of it, a positive experience of some activity, and then what happens? Then there is certain programming in us. This programming, what it will do, it will make us repeat that action, and then it becomes stronger action, and this stronger action, it forms. And no, this is the important point here. This stronger action, it, because of this, the person want to repeat it again and again, and he loses freedom. In the spiritual world, this does not happen. A person don't lose freedom. Here we lose freedom. We think, no, I am free. No, none of us are free. If you are in the material world, you have material body, means we don't have freedom. That is very clear. Animals don't have freedom. Even humans also don't have freedom. More our consciousness is evolved, to the degree we are getting freedom. Now we don't have freedom. We are just acting to the programming that we already have. What is the programming? Say now I have certain impressions. This the four steps I showed you in the cycle. Hopefully if my laptop cooperates, I can again show. The 4 steps I showed you in the cycle. This cycle we should always remember. Any action we are doing, it is already programmed. You cannot act other way. You are acting according to the programming only. Like the programming is binding us. So this is actually a person, he becomes addicted to the say certain things, good or bad things, and is going to act accordingly only. There is no option that is available for us. And say we don't have option for how to act in this world. No living entity has. Only a liberated soul has an option. Everybody is bound only. Now, if there is positive experience and negative experience, now I'll just this one important thing of cycle of karma we'll see, and then it will be easy for you to get this. So, how the cycle of karma begins? So now, if we are first, it starts with an action. Say we are acting. Now, action literally means that I do something. And when I do something, what is the motivation for it? I want to get something from it, right? That is the motivation for our action. Now, second thing is what happens is that forms, when the higher my expectations, the more emotional and the stronger the reactions to the fact that I get it. So this is what is the consequences. The stronger the traces will be. Clear? And then there comes the second link. The first thing is we have expectations, and these expectations, what they are doing, they are creating certain the emotional, more emotional I am, the stronger the reaction. The stronger the reaction means the stronger the imprints. And then what happens? The second part. The first link is actions, expectations, and emotions, the imprints. Second is the second link is the imprints that remain in the consciousness. So the degree I am attached to my activity, to the degree it remains. The imprints are proportionate to the attachment. So more I am attached to the results, more imprints will come. So what is the especially Nishkam Karma Yoga? Don't be attached to results. Then what happens? You do activity but no result. No impressions. Impressionless activity is called Nishkam Karma Yoga. That is what. That means no expectation is. I just doing as a duty. No expectations. And now if we have expectations in our activity, then we are having imprints in our consciousness. Now the third part. So this is everybody has, and this is what is the stronger, the greater expectations, the better experience. More experience we get, more impressions we get. But the problem is here. These are all sanskaras from many lifetimes. Now the third part comes. The third part is very important. And this is where we have to understand. It is said that a certain pattern or a certain stencil into which all these experiences are added. And when we experience something many times, and all this forms certain qualities in our personality. And once a person has something, and he does it repeated times, then it becomes his quality, right? Like a sanskara is a single impression in our mind, but it turns into a character trail, into a tendency, and when we repeat it again and again, so something which is more permanent, and this forms vasana. Vasana is clothes. This is actually where we are formed of. We are formed on the collective impressions, and this body is formed. That means this is a vasana, bodies. And next thing is, now the next thing very important. What is the motivation for work? Vasana is the personality that is formed. And now comes the fourth part of the link, that is called Vritti. Vritti means a wave. It's a direct reaction of my mind, a certain wave of excitement. So if we look at the neuropsychology also, they say it will be reflected as some kind of electromagnetic impulse in our brain. And when Vritti, it is a kind of ripple on the surface of mind. When it comes now, we cannot do anything. We just act like that only. Suddenly we become angry and nobody can control. No logic, nothing works. We just act like that only. I want to eat. Not good, nothing. No, I want to eat. I'll go open my refrigerator and eat it. So this means what? My motivation for activity, where it is coming from? You are clear? Now what happens this is I will close the cycle now where we are excited to react to some external events. That means what? I'm acting. So depending on the form of our consciousness or the form in which our mind comes, I am starting acting. So two different people in the same situations, one person lose temper, one person is calm, one person is almost dead, one person is... Why they are acting differently? Because the form of our reaction, it is already programmed. Now all these reactions we encounter almost every day, and accordingly we are formed this personality. So the cycle is like we are caught up in this. Now I acted. If I acted, again I found impressions. Impressions again cause vasanas, again cause vrittis, again I act. So the cycle continues. Now in the spiritual world, there is no chance of any of these things. There is no action based on because of impressions. It is based on love. A person is free there. Here we are already programmed. There is no freedom in this material world for living. This body is no freedom. Like we have three levels, three things different from a matter and living entity. Like a table is not conscious. It does not know it exists. Second is it cannot discriminate. It cannot say this is a table, this is a chair, this is a mobile. There is no discrimination. And this ability to distinguish is not there for matter. And the third important thing is we have an ability to love. And that is where the freedom comes. Now we don't have that full ability. When we come to the spiritual circle, then we can gain that ability. So when I'm learning to be selfless, the love that is in the spiritual world makes a living entity completely free. In this metal world, why we are not free? Because we are selfish. Once we give up our selfish interest, then we'll be able to experience that spiritual love that is completely proportionate. So in Vaikuntha, what is the important thing is there they don't have any vasanas. Like there is no vasana. Like what is the impetus for their activity? Now for me, I want to eat. Say I ate gulab jamun. Now what happened? There is an impression of gulab jamun. Impression of gulab jamun makes me certain programming in me. More I eat, more impression. That means it forms a vasanas. And next time I see a gulab jamun, it forms a vritti. No, go and eat. And I eat again. Again forms sanskara. Again vasanas, then vritti, again I eat. That means my activity is programmed. I'm completely caught up in this world. But in spiritual world, this does not happen. Spiritual world, the activities, there is no question of any vasanas and sanskaras only. It is all love. That is why, and now we say, emotions are there. Yes, full emotions are there in spiritual world. Here also emotions are there, but these emotions are causing impressions. But in spiritual world, their emotions don't cause impressions. Why? Because this is selfish, and there it is selfless. So there is quite a lot of difference. When a living entity becomes selfish, he is causing all these wrong impressions and he is getting born. Activity does not change. Here we are under Mahamaya, there we are under Yogamaya. There it is completely free. Here, now why Vaikuntha person cannot come? In a Vaikuntha, a person cannot come to material world. What is the main reason? The main reason is that there are no impressions, material impressions. That is the reason. We will get a material body only. I cannot act only materially because there is no, I will never like anything material because there is no material impressions. If I am liking something means I need to have an impression, but it is not possible in spiritual. Now, another important thing in spiritual world is the main programming for everyone is love. Here main program is selfishness. Any living entity here, they are getting bodies is because of their conditioning. Spiritual world also, there are different bodies. Why? How the bodies of the spiritual world are? They are based on the desire to serve. That is the main difference. And even Brahma Jyoti also, if somebody comes to Brahma Jyoti, there also you don't have any vasanas and vrittis. He is completely freed. Even Nishkam Karma Yoga, to a person come to the next level. Now, am I forming any impressions now? Every activity we are emotionally involved, we are forming impressions now also. That means again we are caught up. I am really sorry, my notes is not there. It is very difficult to understand, but please pay little attention. I will try to explain as much as possible from little bit. I'm really sorry for the notes. Now, spiritual world, in Brahma Jyoti also, it is not possible for somebody from Brahma Jyoti to come down, because in Brahma Jyoti also there are no impressions, no material impressions. Material impressions only causes material body. So when Prabhupada is telling about this Aruhya Kruchena Padam Padatam, it is a person who is imagining that he is liberated, but he has not yet liberated. Even Brahma Jyoti also, person experiences very great amount of bliss. Is really blissful there. Why? See, we have three levels: Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is eternity, and Sat is formed by Balramji. His energy is Sat, and all our material world, it is created from that energy only. And Chit energy is knowledge, that is from Krishna. And Ananda Ladini is Sandhini Samvit Ladini. Actually, Sandhini is Balramji, Samvit is Krishna, Ladini is Radharani. So for us, they transform into material world. How they transform? Goodness, passion, ignorance. What is goodness? Knowledge part, Krishna part. What is ignorance? That is the Sandhini part. The Sandhini gives this material, the energy of Sandhini is what this material world is formed. And Ladini is passion that makes us act, that gives emotions. And in the spiritual world, same thing. The whole spiritual world is made by Sandhini potency. Ladini is Srimati Radharani. And Samvit Krishna is the knowledge potency. Now, when anywhere you see, they say knowledge and bliss is explained. Knowledge and bliss, they go together. So we have material bodies or spiritual bodies, then there is knowledge and bliss. So when we have knowledge, we can also experience bliss. If knowledge is incomplete, bliss is also incomplete. In Brahma Jyoti, they have only half knowledge. They are from minus to zero. In the spiritual world, full knowledge. That's why there is no question of falling only, because you already have knowledge. Material world, we don't have knowledge. That's why we are not blissful. Sattva-guna, if you see, what is the quality in Sattva-guna? Sattva-guna is knowledge and happiness. So what happens when we gain knowledge, we gain happiness. Very, very proportionate. The happiness is proportionate to the knowledge we get. And that is Chit potency. Krishna is giving that knowledge to us. We all need it. And then, so in spiritual world, this is another reason. They are full with knowledge. And that manifests, and then Ladini is that they have that feeling, the heart. Here it transforms into passion. And any knowledge here, we can come to mode of goodness, and then we can experience some sort of happiness, even Sattva-guna also in this material world. And all other things in the material world, what we are seeing is ignorance. Our body is ignorance, all the external in ignorance, and so many things, senses are in ignorance. And we have to work for gaining knowledge. And this is where our hard work comes. And why Lord has to come to this material world to act? He is coming to attract the living entities. That is the main reason that he explains, Suta Goswami explains. Now when Jaya Vijaya are coming, they are not coming because they have some material vasanas. There is no question of anything material. They didn't see any gulab jamun to get attracted. They will not get attracted also. We will get attracted to gulab jamun. They don't have any attraction only. There is no possibility. They are completely in Chit potency. And the ananda which they are experiencing is so high with prema, they will not like only anything in the tamoguna. There is no possibility of tamoguna there. Even in Brahman also, they also have this a greater extent of knowledge. And as a person goes in the higher level of consciousness, he is getting more and more knowledge. And more knowledge, more bliss. We will be free. Now a child is completely ignorant. He cries for every small thing. We are grown up, we don't cry. But more we gain our consciousness, more we are blissful, more we are enthusiastic with Krishna. And that is actually faith. It is not like we were discussing about Dasara Lord Ram. Now he is doing so much. Dharma is following. And what is the point when he is following Dharma? What he is gaining? He is going to the forest for 14 years wearing some tree barks and matted hair, eating roots and some fruits. And then his wife is kidnapped. He has to make friendship with some monkeys who are just uncivilized monkeys, and he has to fight. And after that, wife comes and he has to prove that she is chaste, and he has to send her into the fire. And then she comes proving her chastity, and after that he goes back to Ayodhya. Again they make a comment on her when she's pregnant, and he has to again send her to the forest. And at last he says, okay, you come back. She opens the earth and she enters into it. Now we see, what did Lord Ram get? Of all this following Dharma. This is very important. So what happens is, they are not working on something very, very material, gross amount of happiness. That is something very deep, higher amount of happiness that we experience when we follow Dharma. This is actually what we gain, the knowledge which we gain, and that gives the higher happiness. Because there is a depth in that happiness, that's why even now also, after millions of years, people read Ramayana to experience that amount of happiness. So this is what is very important. Like the knowledge is what gives, when we sacrifice, when we perform these yajnas, the knowledge why we are performing, why everybody is told to do sacrifice, because that is going to give us a deeper knowledge, and that gives a very, very great amount of happiness in our life. This is what we all have to strive. And more we go, then these material things don't affect, because internally we experience a great amount of this. Lord Ram, he's experiencing. Mother Sita, she's also following what Ram says, and she's also experiencing it. She says, oh, I am in forest, I'll be very happy if it is what is going to help Lord Ram. No issue. I'll be happy in the forest. And she's happily going. And no, Ram even didn't go and apologize. So the point is that what we need is knowledge. And knowledge comes sacrifice. And the highest sacrifice which we can do in Kali Yuga is chanting the holy name. Sankirtana Yajna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So knowledge gives bliss. This is what is knowledge, and this is the process. There is no. In Vaikuntha, everybody is sacrificing only. They only live for love. They don't live for themselves. Here, the soul is selfish. That's why we are in this material world. Vaikuntha, everybody is selfless. They are experiencing love. There is a question of coming down only. They don't need anything. That's why it is Leela. And now we are forced to work. I had to force to work, I had to get up from my bed to eat, I had to do so many things just to maintain this body. If I just sit and eat, there is a problem. I had to walk and do some yoga. And then even to get some food also, you have to work. You have to do something. Now, in the spiritual world, there is no need of any of these things. You don't have material body only. What we do is we project our understanding on spiritual world, but it is not like that. We have to start from spiritual world, understand material world. Everything that is there in the material world, we also have in the spiritual world. That is original. This is duplicate. Now, original is what? You eat, you enjoy. Here we eat, we have to pay for it. In terms of our body, size will increase, our digestion. So everything we have to do, same activity in spiritual world, but we are doing in a punishment way. If we cannot do it unlimitedly and a blissful way. We have to do as a punishment, because we are getting a material thing. First is the spiritual, and that is converted here. When the Sandhini is converted to the material world, it becomes ignorance, but it is bliss there. And that Ladini, that pleasure potency in the spiritual world, comes as passion here. We are passionately trying to enjoy the relation between man and man, but it is a spiritual enjoyment there. So everything is oppositely. People, what they say, oh, here what is there, there also it is there. Oh, what is there, that is here. but it's a punishment here. That is the main difference. Here we are given these things, but now here I am forced to work. Now Krishna is going every day with cows. He is going as a pastime. He don't have anything to do. Like children, 3 years children, they don't have anything to do. Whole day they play. That is Leela. Because nothing to do, you play. Spiritual, nothing to do, they play. Here, for Krishna is going herding cows and other things, it's a play for him. But here, people go for herding cows because that is their livelihood. There is no option for them. You have to do the activity, but as a punishment here. That is the main difference. So why somebody who is enjoying there want to come to here and suffer? They are selflessly, fully, blissfully engaged there. Nobody want to. They don't even know also that most of them, they don't know that there is a material world, something exists, because they are completely blissfully with Krishna and they are enjoying there. Even some living entity go from here. As soon as they enter, then everybody in the spiritual world, they will know, oh, he is always here only, and he will have his eternal things and all these things, and they think, oh, he just was there with us and now he is just continuing. Nobody thinks that some new person came. And he will also not remember that as somebody came from material world after some punishment. It becomes part of their family. So this is actually what is spiritual world. So this is here 3 modes are controlling us, but there it is all liberation. There is nothing like controlling. They are completely free, very blissful, and enjoying a very happy life. So this is what is spiritual world. And here it is all punishment. My body is a punishment. There they can change their bodies also in Vaikuntha Loka. Whatever way they want to serve, of course they are happy with that type of body. They don't want to change. But if they want, they can change. Whatever way they want, they can serve. Because they just like serving. Living entities, the propensity is to serve. But somehow we are thinking, Arey, how by serving others I will be happy? This is not, we are not able to get this conviction only. By serving others, how I will be happy? If I eat, I will be happy. If I enjoy, I will be happy. This is not able to come. But spiritual world, that is what a living entity has realized. So he is very blissful and happy with it. I think I can end here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I think little more we can go if you have any points. It was very interesting, Prabhuji.
Okay, then. Now another.
You can take, Prabhuji, then we can go for question and answers. It's really very interesting, very nice class.
Now, when in the spiritual world, Krishna, he likes to enjoy different ways. Now there also he has fighting, and they are also enjoying, but it is unfriendly. But when Krishna wants to enjoy in this material world, he also brings on his own associates for doing these pastimes in this material world also. There is a difference. Now he is coming to this material world. The main reason is he wanted to reclaim the fallen souls. This is his Karunamay Leela. This is Krishna is Karunamay. That's why he comes. Now when Jaya Vijay are coming, we see they are acting very badly and they are doing so many atrocities. Now we may think, Arey, they are demons and they are killing also. They are doing so many things. Now, of course, whatever they are doing, the living entity who are meant to get the results they are getting. But for Jaya Vijaya, it is not that they are getting some punishment. They are, and now we may say, are they blissful doing it? No, they are completely involved in it. They are completely into, okay, I am really enemy of Krishna and I have to fight on. And then only Krishna will experience. If Krishna is doing drama, then it will not be possible. It's like say, Krishna knows, oh, he is my friend only, he is Jaya, he is Vijaya. I just have to act like that. No. Krishna completely gets involved, and that is what is Kunti Maharani is saying. What she says that Gopya Dedetvai Kritaka Siddhama Tavad Yate Dashashri Kalidanjana Sambramaksham Bhaktrum Niniya Bhav Bhavanaya Sudasya Saman Vimoheti Bhirapyat Viveti. Kunti would not have been bewildered. what is bewildering Kunti Maharani is Krishna is really afraid that is bewildering Kunti Maharani. Are you are Supreme Lord? What is the question of bewilderment? Kunti being a relative of Nanda and Yashoda also, she happened to be in Vrindavan on Diwali day, and that is the day Krishna is born also. She could see that past time. That's why she says, it is bewildering to me. Why it is bewildering? Because Krishna is really afraid. So Krishna experiences all these pleasures in the spiritual world and full, and he is really involved and he is really afraid. That is what is. So all his energies, they cooperate with Krishna to help him enjoy in all these ways. And all living entities, they are also very blissfully supporting Krishna and making him enjoy. And that gives them more happiness than Krishna also sometimes. That's what Krishna is worried. These people are enjoying more than me, serving me. That's why Krishna also wants to become a devotee, and he comes as Chaitanya to see what is the bliss devotee experience serving me. Now, in the spiritual world, everything is conscious. And when it comes to the material world also, there is a personal aspect for all the things that are there in this material world. That is also one last point I will share. So this is how, like, if you take any risk, like there anything in this material world has a personal aspect because it is from the spiritual world. This is a reflection of spiritual world. The personal aspect is there here also in everything. Even in quantum mechanics, it is based on the consciousness of the person. The atoms are reacting. So quantums react according to the consciousness of a person. That means they are also relating. So everything in this material world is it have a personal aspect. So Supreme Lord is a person. To know a person is a relationship. We also now see we need to give up our karma shraddha, jnana shraddha, and have bhakti shraddha only. Bhakti shraddha means selfless service to Krishna. Selfless service to Krishna means what? We should not hear anything other than Krishna. We should be completely blissful, hearing about Krishna all the time. Then only we will be able to develop relationship. Otherwise, there is no relationship with Krishna. If I am little bit, every day, even one activity selflessly we try to do for Krishna. Krishna, this is only for you. I don't want anything from this. In that way, we should do. When, especially in chanting, Krishna, this chanting for your pleasure. Nothing to do. I don't want anything from this. More and more we try to learn any small activities selflessly trying to Krishna, then we are qualified for spiritual world, where we can we are okay. At the end of life, we can say, yes, fit for spiritual world. You can go back home because he's selfless. This is what we are all working for. How much selflessly I am able to render service to Krishna. How many activities I did which are selfless, which is not for me, only for Krishna I did for today. And that is what is we have to see where I am standing in the ladder for bhakti. And by the end of life, yes, I have 100% I am servant of Krishna now. I can confidently say. Yes, Mataji.
Very good, Prabhuji. Really very wonderful class, Prabhuji. So the way you explained how spiritual world is and how the material world is really, and how Lord is reciprocating. And we, when we were there, how we reciprocated. So everything is really wonderful. So from this, I just think that
one revision I'll do. Just 2 minutes, Mataji. 2 minutes I'll do revision. So so that I'm done.
That will be good for me also to, yeah, please go ahead.
I'll just do one revision. See, I was telling about the cycle which has 4 links. One is action. Second is an imprint of this action. Third is a certain tendency or habit that we have formed in ourselves. And fourth one is my psychological reactions to the external environment, which in turns determines my behavior. So this is the cycle. And the third thing, there is certain tendencies that are formed, that is called vasana. So I am formed of certain tendencies which are not there in the spiritual world. So this is why I am acting is because of these tendencies. But in spiritual world, why I am acting is out of love. So this is a main difference. So in Vaikuntha, there is no tendency. It's all love that is motivating the action. And second thing we discussed is that how in spiritual world is we should not see from our point of view. We should start from spiritual world, come here. Spiritual world original, here is a punishment body. Another thing is its selflessness. And I discussed about Sandhini, Samvita and Ladini potencies. And they are converted into 3 modes. They control here. And there it is, knowledge is actually what is bliss. If we gain knowledge, we are blissful. Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that recap. So in spiritual world, we have the real love, but in the material world, it's just selfish. So love is not the real love, it's just lust and selfish. So that selfishness, yeah, so that is what we call it as lust. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So very nice explanation. So I just think that we always say that we were in the spiritual world, and so we have descended here, right? So I think there is a common question. Then if we were there, then how we could have come here? So because the Lord says that one who comes to my abode will never return to this material world, right? So then, so in that case, is it the understanding that we were all not there in the spiritual world? Maybe we were in some other planets, in the upper planets, and that's why we have fallen down. So like that, is that understanding right, Prabhuji?
This question, I was expecting. I should have told answer before. The answer will be in the next sessions, because Nardaman is going to answer, and you will get answers from the next sessions.
Can you give one glimpse, Prabhuji, for this?
I don't want to answer this question now. But one thing is that Krishna tells that it was always like this. In Bhagavad Gita, we have this shloka. So this question I have 2 answers. One is we are never in spiritual world. Another answer is we are from the spiritual world. And there are 2 parties in ISKCON. And a formal and our official stand of ISKCON is we are from spiritual world. And there is another set of devotees who say we are never in the spiritual world. So 2 opinions are there. I will not tell my opinion, but these 2 opinions are there in ISKCON.
Okay, Prabhuji. So then let's wait. So just some.
What is important? Yeah. See, there are explanations for both. I can give the reasons why they are telling these things. But main thing is that because when we understand in this way, it looks logically that how can somebody from the spiritual world fall? So we will not be able to understand it clearly. But this explanation that we were never there, that also makes sense. But anyway, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says is when we come to the stage of bhava, then we can come to know the answer exactly. Till the time, we cannot know the answer.
Oh, then we have to take so much lifetimes. Prahlad Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mataji, and then a pranam to Prabhuji and everyone here. I don't have a question, and I don't want to question where did I come from. I understand Srila Prabhupada says if you are falling in a wall, in a deserted well, you don't think, well, how did I fail? I just want to get out of here. That's the priority of the question. Anyway, my request is, Prabhuji, your notes we are missing so much. I actually am missing it. So please somehow or other make it available to us. I want to hear the lecture
send it
2-3
to
times.
Mataji, she post in the
so that we can hear it 2-3 times and organize our thoughts about this new understanding which we have obtained from your lecture today, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Again, later I'll speak also.
Thank you, Prahlad Prabhuji. Rati Manjari Priya Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances, and to Mataji also, humble obeisances. Prabhuji, my question is, you said that in Brahma Jyoti, I'm audible?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you said from Brahma Jyoti, there is a lesser extent of realization of the Sat Chit potency. So, how do we understand that they fall down from there? I mean, they have not attained perfection to go to
they will
the
not fall
spiritual
from
higher
Brahma.
abodes.
That is not from
They
Brahma
do not
Jyoti.
fall.
It is the imagined position of liberation. They have not liberated. Once you liberate, there is no question of vasana only. No?
Coming down. Yes.
There is no question of impetus to activity. You have zero impetus. Action comes when you have vasanas, then only you act. Now you show a gulab jamun to me. I have never seen gulab jamun. I have never tasted gulab jamun. I have no impression of gulab jamun. I will not get a desire to eat gulab jamun only. Only if I have experience of it, then only I will act it. Otherwise, I will not act on it. My activity for impetus is I should have that vasana. Na? I should be programmed to enjoy. I don't have programming only. Where is the question of action?
Okay, so Prabhuji, the yogis and the ones who, I mean, they attain Brahman effulgence, what is that? I mean, and then they fall down and come
No, they
and do
don't fall
charitable
because
work here.
there is no impetus to fall. You have cleared all your vasanas. You burned your vasanas. Tam karma yoga, burn vasanas. Once you burn vasanas, means there is no question of action only.
Okay. So who are these people who come and open the charitable institutes? I mean, they have...
They imagined the position of liberation, Prabhupada writes. That means these people, they are impersonalists, but even impersonal understanding, now if they don't have bhakti, then only you get liberation. If you don't have bhakti, you don't accept the personal form of Lord. You are impersonalist, but like this Brahmavadis and all, they have the aspect of bhakti in it. Yogis and Jnanis, if they have aspect of bhakti, then only they will get liberated. Otherwise, they will fall down because there is no bhakti. Like no Ishopanishad says, ignorance is dangerous, but knowledge is much more dangerous. This means what? Ignorance is karma without bhakti, and knowledge is jnana without bhakti, which is much more dangerous. They will fall down to hell. That is the point there.
So the Mayavadis basically, Prabhuji, right?
They are Mayavadi. That means it looks like
knowledge,
but it is more dangerous than ignorance.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, so now you are saying that jnana without bhakti is more dangerous, more than ignorance, right? So can you just elaborate on that?
Yeah, that is what. So if person is gaining knowledge, but he is not understanding that there is a personal aspect of Lord, then he will, this is what is the shloka is also explaining. He will go down to hell. See, Brahmavadis, they get Brahman liberation, but Mayavadis, they go to hell. That's why Krishna, Mayavadi, Krishna Paradu. And all the Mayavadi, they go to hell because they are thinking they are in knowledge, but it is more dangerous. Then at least karmic, they are doing some sense gratification. Ignorance there, all these people are doing some sense gratification and enjoying, people around you. But people, they are taking that, okay, I am gaining knowledge, but they are saying, but God does not have form, he does not have qualities, they are offending him. It looks like knowledge, but they are going to hell. This is actually what is happening. So it looks like knowledge. They are reading, so many books are written, all these bogus books, impersonal books. All these people who are seriously going into it, they are seriously ending up in hell. They are falling. That is more dangerous because you are offending Mayavadi, Krishna Aparadi. But Brahmavadis, they don't offend. They worship the form of Lord, but they are not interested in form of Lord. They want to go to Brahman. They know that there is a form of Lord, but they are not interested. But these people, Mayavadis, they offend. They say Lord is ordinary person. Lord, we can become Lord. Everybody is Lord. And by meditation, you can become Lord. All these bogus philosophies, they will all go to hell if they seriously practice. That is knowledge much more dangerous. It looks like knowledge, but it is much more dangerous.
Much more, yeah, right.
That's why you should not read any Mayavadi book. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, read any Mayavadi books because immediately your desire to serve will go away and you will end up in hell. That's why you should not touch Mayavadi books. It looks like knowledge, but it's more dangerous.
Yeah, okay, Prabhuji, got it. So karmis, at least at one point of time, they will they will do the work and they have some chance to do the bhakti, right? So, but when jnanis,
is jnanis, yeah, especially Mayavadis.
Yeah, correct. Okay, thank you. So you have time now, Prabhuji, because we have some more raised hands.
Okay, if somebody has questions, I will take.
Jyoti Takni Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question
is... You are not audible.
You are not audible. Mataji, you are not audible.
Could you hear me, Mataji?
Now, okay, Mataji, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Prabhuji, my question to you is, you said that in Brahma Jyoti, the impersonalism, and those who practice, they will not come down, but they have to come down for means they have to repeat this birth and death cycle, right?
No. They already got liberated. That's what is liberation means. Liberation means what? You don't have any material vasanas. You don't have material body only. See, when death comes, when is death? When we are in ignorance, then only death. Otherwise, there is no death. When I gain knowledge, I am free from death. Death is cause of ignorance is cause of death. We are all dying because we are in ignorance. Spiritual world, why there is no death? Because they are in knowledge. Brahma Jyoti, there is no death because they are in knowledge. They know that they are soul. We don't know we are soul. We think we are the body. That's why we die. We are identifying with dead matter. That's why we have to die every time. If I identify as myself as soul and act on a spiritual platform, then I will never die. I get liberated. Whether I go to spiritual world, I go to Brahma Jyoti. They identify themselves as soul only. Where is the question of death? Body has death. Soul does not have death, right? If I am thinking I am soul, how will I die? If I identify as a body, because I am identifying with ignorance, then only I die.
So, Prabhuji, you mean to say that when a person is liberated, so the soul will have transcendental desires?
You don't have desire. In Brahman, there is no desire, but in spiritual world, they have desires. Desire to serve Krishna because they have love.
Then what is the happiness in Brahma Jyoti? Because there is no Krishna, it is darkness only, no, Prabhuji?
It is white. Actually, what happens? See, you wrote your any entrance exams did you write? For competitive exams did you?
Yes.
So after writing the competitive exam, you came out of the hall. How did you feel? You feel relieved?
Yes, of course.
So now just a competitive exam of this material world can give us so much relief. When you are free from this material body, material identity, material suffering, it will be millions of times more blissful. So just a material, like suddenly if you are watching some very, now India, they will watch cricket. After the match, they will feel a little blissful. So if you are relieved from certain suffering, when you are relieved from suffering, you are feeling some sort of bliss.
Yes,
so
Prabhuji.
When you are relieved from this material body, you get so much amount of bliss that you don't want to have a body again. So that is a bliss in that. So this is called actually Brahmananda. You are free from this material suffering.
Okay,
so
but
even
what Prabhuji?
Huh?
So that bliss will get over, right? It will be having.
You are blissful because you don't have anything to suffer. You are free, that's why you are happy. We are free, we become happy. When your exams are over, see, Friday evening or after the exams are over, you are given holidays, or of course, when children have holidays, parents will have tension, but children are blissed. When you are free, see, now a person is very strong and he's very healthy, he's very strong, very powerful, and you keep him in a 2x2 room and lock him, close him. He's in 2x2. He can walk 2 steps back, 2 steps in the side. Now, will he be happy?
No.
Now, why he is not happy? Because he is restricted. Similar to the soul, it is restricted with this body. You give him freedom from this body. Will he be happy? Yes. That is what is Brahman. But you can be more happy when you start loving. So that is when the spiritual world, when you serve, that is much more happiness. But just from freedom from this body itself is a great pleasure for living entities. And that itself is bliss. They want to continue like that, blissful, no material body. They're happy like that.
So, Prabhuji, what you were teaching today, that knowledge is the bliss, right? But the knowledge to reach the bliss is a long journey, right? It has to pass, because a person, even if he thinks that he's a devotee, it's a blunder, There are some standards from which goes from which there are levels, right? From from the knowledge to the bliss. There are levels. Is my understanding correct, Prabhuji?
We for others now we should think they are all devotees. For ourselves, we should think I am trying to be a devotee. And what we have to do now, we have to practice what is the proper standard. Proper standard means my bhakti should be pure bhakti. It should not be mixed with karma and jnana. Then I can say that I am practicing pure devotional service, and that should be what we are supposed to do. We have to practice pure devotional service. And it should not be mixed with karma and jnana. In that way, I practice pure devotional service, and we can count ourselves as devotee because Krishna said he will take care of whoever practice pure devotional service. We should, but we should feel I am trying to be devotee. But for others whom we are seeing, we should say because they have pure devotional faith, we should consider them as devotees. That is very important. It is not that immediately will become pure, but our faith should be pure. That is very important. If your faith is pure, then you can be counted as a pure devotee because faith is pure.
So, Prabhuji, our intention is to understand that the impressions we are not supposed to create. We have to practice to that level, right?
This is very important. See what is happening now. People, they are acting, they are creating more and more impressions. And we should be very careful not to create impressions. But what happens now, when you develop pure devotional faith, even though when we act, we will not create impressions. Because the taste for pure devotional bhakti will protect us from creating further impressions. Even though I may act because of my swabhava, it will not create. I have already vasanas. My asanas will force me to act. But because I have pure devotional faith, I want Krishna in my life, the impressions will not, it will not create impressions. Like I switch off the fan is still moving, but it will stop in some time. So similarly, the vasanas are motivating me to still do. So I may be interested in sweet now also. I may be interested in certain things now also. But they are because of that vasanas that remain. But because I am having pure devotional faith, slowly that vasanas will go away. That is what Krishna is explaining.
So a person, if he is angry and he is able to understand that he is angry right now and able to hold it, so that hold itself is not creating impressions, right? Is it right?
Yeah, that is correct. That is, if he is trying to control himself, that will not create impressions. Or even if somebody is having the tendency to be angry and he becomes angry also, but he is practicing pure devotional service, then it will not cause impressions for him. It will gradually go away. Even if he is angry also, it will not cause impressions because he is practicing. Like say, he is not interested in getting any material benefits by worshipping Krishna. He is not interested to gain liberation or free from suffering by worshipping Krishna. That means he has pure devotional faith. Because he is having pure devotional faith, even though he is, like say, sometimes he is suddenly he is conditioned to watch some news or he is conditioned to watch some movie, but still he is having that faith and is practicing pure devotional service. That will not cause impressions like what it causes for outside people. So he can come out of it slowly, but he should sincerely practice. He should have that sincerity. Then he will not get impressions.
This will take time, right, Prabhuji?
Time means, yes, time is there. Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dharya. We should have patience. It will take time. Okay. But it is not like time means within this lifetime we can clear. We can come to Nishtha stage in this lifetime.
Hopefully, Prabhuji.
Yes. You are very eternally hopeful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Shubhakar Krishna, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Anita Mataji. Thank you, Radha Pramod. I like to ask you questions. Very so nice, wonderful. Prabhu, now 2 weeks back when Maharaj had given a class, he gave the answer. All of us have come from Brahma Jyoti. We have never been in spiritual world, he told. He slipped out from his mouth. From Maharaj, proper disciple. So I told you go to tell that. He told nobody was in spiritual world. They're all in Brahma Jyoti, he told. You can throw light on that, please. It's so much of tension, and because tomorrow if I'm not alive, then I will not get it. No, tell now, Prabhu. The suspense.
You can personally call me, bro.
Your number I don't have.
I will
Radha
post
Pramod.
my number on the group. I'll type my number in the group. You personally send.
Sure, Prabhu. So one question, Prabhu. Now you told the vasana is the dress.
Yeah.
Now the dress is coming because of so many attachment, kama, krodha, moha, mada, matsarya, these are all there. And as we do chanting, if we hear Krishna Katha, slowly it gets absorbed and a point will come, there will be fully purified mind, fully purified intelligence, and real ego will come, false ego will really go. At that point, it is the soul will become alone and will get the body out of the soul. That is the time that we are going to the spiritual world. That means we are getting out of this vasana, that dress.
Yes. We have to get rid of these vasanas. We have to burn the vasanas. That is what is, this is the important understanding. We have to free ourselves from vasanas. We have to burn the vasanas. And then we are fit for spiritual world.
I know the burning the vasana
is why Nishkam Karma Yoga? Na? Please understand, this is very important. Nishkam Yoga,
yes.
why it burns the vasanas? Because
no impression will. No further impression will come.
Because you are not acting to get any result out of it. That's why no impression.
And Prabhu, now, this is a very good thing you are telling now. Now, I know the answer is that we have to chant. But chanting is not happening in such a good way that it burns out. But Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, along with Bhagavatam listening and hearing, that's happening. I'm really liking it. But I think the real burning point is only chanting, no? In Kali Yuga, you said the sacrifice, Sankirtan Yajna, we have to burn through chanting. So you have to give us adopt something which can make us to burn fast.
Why, Prabhu, what is like when we hear Bhagavatam, our faith in chanting will increase. So it's helpful to hear, to gain more and more faith. When we hear, we gain more and more faith, and that will help us to chant more intensely. And that's how we make progress. Because when we are hearing from other person, what happens? We are taking his conviction into us. We are getting his faith into us. So that is actually what is helpful. That's why it is very important that we hear from a like-minded people who are having pure devotional faith. That will help us to practice our bhakti very sincerely.
But some classes of Prabhupada, when we hear, it touches the heart and some tears comes. That shows that it is burning. No? When you are being hurt, oh, how I am here so bad and how Krishna is wonderful. That feeling comes, means there is a hope that we'll be able to clear and clean and get out of this miserable material world.
Yeah, that is true. You are very fortunate. You are able to get that realization.
No, I'm not showing up. I'm just trying our best that this should be the last life by Krishna's mercy. Thank you, Prabhu. Others are also waiting to ask questions.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So yes, Shukra Krishna Prabhuji is fully self-realized actually. So I feel that when he is asking questions, no, it's just for the benefit of all of us on the call. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You are not correct.
Haribo. I think Legash Naran Bharatan.
Legash Narayan.
Yeah.
Idigash, Mataji, Idigash.
Itigash.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. That is I.
Itigash.
Okay. Itigash. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
My name is Idigash Narayan Bharadhan. I fell in on 8 months ago in 2020, 68 in the ICU, returned home unconsciously. Slept on the bed for 2 years. I got stroke right hand, left leg. I got motivation from my friends, my mother's friends, my father's friends, my families. Even from the hospital also, the nurse, doctors also gave me more motivation. Do exercise. Now can I walk without a stick also. Thanks to the Lord Krishna. Thanks to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, so we will pray for you for your recovery. So all will be fine. And just pray to the Lord that everything will be fine for you. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
You have any question to ask to Prabhuji? Okay, Gail Mataji, please go ahead.
Prabhu, your number is still not come. Radha Pramod Prabhu.
I have posted Prabhu
There,
in the group, the chat.
yeah, in the chat.
It is in the chat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
I was actually quite surprised to learn that even for those for whom their faith is pure, if they are being influenced by their swabhav, to perform, selfish enjoyment, that would not deepen those vasanas, And so, I was quite surprised to hear that. And so I guess, therefore, I'm wishing that you would elaborate a little bit on this point so as to understand why that really wouldn't. I mean, I know you said that it's because our faith is not in selfish enjoyment, but the selfish enjoyment is there, even though we want to go away from that, but the desire is still there. And because that desire is still there, I would have kind of expected, for those vasanas to deepen with continued, practice in that.
What happens, Mataji, that higher taste, the Ladini potency, that the bliss potency that one person experiences, slowly will not allow him to enjoy. Like many people, they joined Krishna consciousness, after some years they left. And then they come back. They say, we try to enjoy outside, but we are not able to enjoy only. Because somehow we are feeling that it won't work. And it didn't work also. Why? Because they experience something already high. And slowly it will again pull us back to experience that higher taste which we have experienced previously. It will not allow us to go back anytime. That is unless we commit offenses, then we lose taste. Otherwise, if we are not committed offenses, the taste will protect us, will make us eventually come back to Krishna consciousness. So now also, if say some tendencies are there, like it's like you switch off the fan, it is still rotating, but it is rotating because of that momentum, but it is disconnected from the power source. Similarly, as soon as I develop that slight Shraddha is developed, pure Shraddha comes into the heart, immediately then our enjoyment in this material world, it is not going to give that much same pleasure. When I commit Vaishnava, I lose that Shraddha, then again I may go back. But otherwise, these vasanas, the actions which I am doing, will be there for some time, but it will not cause that much impressions. We will know it is not good. I don't want it. That's why I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing, but I will continue doing with
Okay. So then your answer inspires a couple of follow-ups. One is that there, we often hear that there is no diminution in this process, but there actually can be if there are offenses. Is it?
Yeah.
Can we say that?
If there are offenses, Krishna will cut that faith. Then again we are back.
Yeah. So that diminution has like an exception clause. Like I feel. Yeah. Okay. And
like the story, I'll just add this. This is also told, but it is a past tense. They say Lakshmi was trying to enter once into Lord's chamber and Jai Vijay, they stop. So she gets offended. And because of that offense, they commit offense to 4 Kumaras and they are out there. That is also one more addition to the story. But it is all Leela. It is not happening because of.
Yeah. And then my other thing was concerning the fan analogy, right? So when the fan gets switched off, yet the blades continue rotating or revolving, whatever, that continuation of the fan to keep spinning, that is analogous to the fact that our vasanas are still impelling us to, do sinful activities. Is that correct?
Yes. Because when we come to Krishna consciousness, vasanas, that part of karma will remain with us. Krishna consciousness, Krishna removes all prarabdha, but aprarabdha karma is removed. But this part of prarabdha, vasana part is still remaining with us, and that will make us continue to do our actions in this way. This body is also prarabdha, and our tendency to perform in certain way. What we have to do, already I have certain tendencies. I just have to engage them in Krishna consciousness and get out of it. So I cannot stop my tendencies. Now for me, I want to speak only. So better speak about Krishna and get out of this material world. Somebody likes to hear, somebody likes to do something, any activity. Somebody likes cooking. You do cooking and get out of this material world. You like serving, doing some other service, book distribution, do it and get out. But somehow we have to engage our vasanas in Krishna service, means in a positive way, and then get out of this material condition.
So you said that we cannot eradicate our vasanas. We can only basically.
Yeah.
In Krishna's service.
Yeah, Krishna only has to remove it. When he will remove, it is up to his will. To the degree we surrender, then he will remove. Whenever Krishna, he will remove them. It is not possible. We are doing bhakti, but removal is done by Krishna. It's not that because my bhakti it is happening, because Krishna's mercy it is happening, and Krishna will be pleased based on our sincerity, and whenever he feels that is need, he will take it away.
Right. And the switching off of the fan, would you say that the switching off of the fan is that moment when we decide that we want to engage in devotional service in a pure way, pure devotional? That's the switching off.
Yes. Okay. That is the switch. Yeah, pure devotional. Once you decided, I want only Krishna in life, nothing, no karma, no jnana. I don't want to enjoy this material world. And enough is enough. Krishna, now I am back.
So that's what we are switching off. We are switching off that all the prarabdhas which we are having, and we are switching on the devotion service.
Yeah, we have switched it off already.
Yeah, that is correct. We have switched it off already.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhu. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mataji. Prabhuji, last one hand raise is this. Rati Manchari Priya Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just in continuation with the liberated entities in the Brahma Jyoti, what happens to them? I'm just curious. I mean, it's not.
They just remain like that, Mataji. They are very happy like that. They are blissful because they don't have any. See, please understand why we are having problem in understanding, na? Because we are thinking that, and this is actually makes more demotivates people from spiritual life. They think that it is such a boring thing that you are going to Brahman, nothing is there to do. It is not actually boring place. That is a misunderstanding. Because of this impersonal preaching, many people, they don't take to spiritual life. Like my friend, he was telling to his son, see, after some time we have to give up our body and then we are going into Brahman. His son said it's so boring, but it's not boring actually. That Brahma Jyoti is not a boring place. It's a very liberating, blissful place because person has a knowledge about spirit soul. We are identifying with body and we think we relate to that the pleasure from the body is actually what is the pleasure. But there is something higher than what we can experience also in Brahman. That's why I gave the example. When we are free, you experience bliss. We are bound, we are controlled, and that's why we are acting like this. Otherwise, for us also, if we are free from this body, we will be really very happy. We are forced to act like that, and we are conditioned. We think there is no option only. This is only the way of happiness. This is not the way of happiness. Like when Indra became pig, he was thinking this is happiness. I have my family, my beautiful wife, my beautiful piglets, and they sound also, they smell also nicely, and they speak also. Brahma said, what are you doing? You're a pig. But pig is very happy. Any living entity like pig, you think it's a horrible life. You try to go and kill a pig, it don't want to die. If even a worm in the stool also, you try to kill it, it also don't want to die. It is very happy in the stool. For us also, we are thinking this is very nice thing. We want to enjoy here. But it is not like that. Liberation is what is, it is a very blissful state. It is not boring state. We are bound, we are not able to understand it. That is the difference. That's why otherwise whole Shastra, they talk Dharma, Artha, Kama, and what is the fourth thing? Moksha. Why they are talking about moksha? Because that is a very high state, and anybody is getting moksha, it is glorified also. So much moksha is glorified in the Shastras. Because it is a very, you are free from this bondage. That is the point.
So Prabhuji, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakale, Shanta cannot be peaceful. Those who are in, those who desire liberation.
See, like for devotees, we are always told this, that don't be attached to mukti, because that is very tempting. So if a person who is in the first best, what is the most tempting is the second best. So people, we have to speak about so much about the negative about the second thing. Otherwise people may go for the second one, that is liberation.
Okay.
Like for us, that's why mukti is so much de-glamorized according to us, because we may have the temptation to go for mukti, but it is not anything very simple. It's also a very elevated post, but there is always a temptation for going for mukti. That's why it is so much de-glamorized by our scriptures, especially Bhakti scriptures. They say, no, go for Vaikuntha. It is Kaivalyam Narakayate. It says going to liberation is like hell only. Prabhupada and Saraswati says hell because they are not getting opportunity to serve Krishna. That's why they are telling it as hell.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I got it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think no more hand raises there and no more questions also. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your valuable time and association. It was very wonderful session and nice Q&A session also. Thank you for giving us your valuable time and association. We want your association in future also with this very blissful katha. And please share your notes with us, Prabhuji. Many of us want it. Haribol. So devotees, let's pay obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalpa tripasya
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji.
Jai Shri Radha. Bless you all of you.